Hello, this is Hiroshi Yamazoe. This time I will talk about something I am currently working on. That is working on getting out of my loneliness state. As I have said in other videos, I live a very isolated life in Japan. I think I am currently more isolated than those who stay at home with their parents in a severe Hikikomori state, because they have their families around them, but I have been alone since I have been disconnected from my family for about 9 years. But fortunately, I have many online friends and acquaintances in many different countries around the world. I have met some of them in person during my travels to 14 countries so far, and when they have come to Japan, I have shown them around Japan. I have had a great time with them and I appreciate them very much always. They are really important people for me. However, they are people who live in countries very far away from Japan, and I see one of them like only once every 2 to 3 months or so. And I have only one friend who lives in Japan currently, but she lives far away from Tokyo. I only see her once every 2 to 3 months as well. So I have very few opportunities to meet people in the real world in Japan. You may think it strange to be so lonely while living in Tokyo, which is a city of about 14 million people. However, I naturally become very isolated when I am in Japan. I think the main reason for this is that I have not made the effort to make friends and acquaintances in Japan. As I said in my other videos, I have lived a life that is so different from the Japanese standard people. When I am a child, I was bullied, stopped going to school, stopped even talking to my family, and was neglected by my family. And after that, I became a severe hikikomori for about 10 years from my early teens to my early 20s. At that time, I had been living a life stuck in my room, not going to school, not going to work, and thinking that I would like to die. Therefore, long ago, when I was a child, I went off the rail of the standard of Japanese society, spent 10 years on that state, and even after that, I have not been able to return to the rail of the society for a long time, and I have continued to drift away from the standard of this society, and now I find myself as if I am living in a different universe than the members of this society. Because of this sense of discomfort, I avoided meeting other Japanese people as much as possible. In short, I avoided being seen as a strange person by other Japanese people. And the reason why I actively meet many people when I go abroad by alone is because I feel that such discomfort is greatly reduced and I feel treated as a human being when I came outside of Japanese society. However, as I said at the beginning, I am trying to get out of this loneliness condition in Japan by myself. This will be a huge challenge for someone like me living in this situation in Japan. But I am not hopeless at all because I know that there are many people in this Japanese society who are lonely for various reasons. Among them, there must be many people like me who are looking for a way out of the loneliness. I would like to connect and meet such people through the internet, and I know how amazing it is to be relieved of loneliness through meetings with many people when traveling alone in foreign countries. Through this experience, I learned how important it is to meet people for the first time in my life. It seems to me that the state of loneliness and non-loneliness have a kind of complementary relationship. Just as without suffering, pleasure would not exist. So without the suffering of loneliness, I think that we would not be able to feel how amazing it is to be healed of loneliness. So being in a very lonely state, the present is quite hopeful. This is a little different from my context, but for example, the Christian New Testament mentioned this. In Matthew 5, it says, "Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled." My point is, in other words, if there is a shortage, there is a room for fulfillment, regardless of whether we believe in the God in the Bible or not. This seems to be a universal truth. So the more we suffer from loneliness, the more potential we have to be happy in the relief of that loneliness in the future. So I believe that the more difficult the current situation is, the more hope we can have for the future. I think this is one of the reasons why the developing countries in Southeast Asia that I have visited in the past are full of vitality, or like Japan's high growth period that began after World War II when the country was very poor. And as another example, as I said in other videos, I once did a 10-day fasting experiment, spending 10 days drinking only water and a nutritional fasting drinks. And I found that the food I ate after 10 days tasted wonderful, and I had a deep appreciation for food. Thus, I believe that a deep shortage is the way to achieve deep fulfillment. Anyway, I will be working to meet new people in Japan in the future. I will report periodically on this initiative in future videos. By doing so, I hope to provide a real story of how the internet can be used to break out of a state of isolation in Japan. So in this video, I talk about my current agenda to reduce my isolation situation in Japan. Thank you for watching. If you are interested, please subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.